No, I really like what you've done with your hair. Oh, hi! Welcome to the Online Jewelry Academy. I'm Professor John Ahr, and I'm your instructor. This is that time of year when ghosts and goblins inhabit the earth. And as a special Halloween treat to you, the Online Jewelry Academy is releasing a zombie movie that we made a few years ago. It used to be a paid video, but now you get it for free. It stars me and my dog Spot. Smile, Spot! Did you know that after you die, your hair continues to grow and you have an appetite for brains and Mod Podge? I hope you enjoyed this video. And don't forget, you can always follow the Online Jewelry Academy on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you subscribe, you'll get weekly updates of new videos all the time. Today, I'm going to show you how to make holiday jewelry, specifically Halloween jewelry, using ordinary greeting cards or other printed material. Now, if you look over here, I've got one earring and a necklace that I've made using similar types of material. Obviously, this came from a similar card. Now, the necklace is made from packaging material that was used to hold Halloween costumes and other decorations. Now, this piece is made using optical quartz crystals and an optically shaped piece of glass. Now, these are a little bit expensive, and you can substitute using vase filler, which is a much less expensive material and is clear enough. And sometimes you can get some really interesting shapes. Now, there are a variety of materials available at your local bead store or online for making projects like this, and I'm going to demonstrate with those products. But I'm going to also show you how you can save some money by substituting something that you make yourself. Now, the general supplies that you're going to need for this project include having some kind of printed material, of course. Now, make sure that you use something that is offset print or laser print. If you use something that's inkjet, the ink might smear. Now, you're also going to need some type of crystal or glass piece. And in this case, what I'm going to show you today is I'm going to attach this spider holding a jack-o'-lantern to this glass piece. Now, you're also going to need either the store-bought purchase bail material, or you're going to be able to make your own just using copper wire or any other wire you might have on hand. In addition to this, you're also going to need some tools. Now, a really handy one is a toothpick. You may need several of those. You're also going to need some E6000 glue. This is a little bit smelly and gives off some odor, so you may want to work in a well-ventilated space. To attach the paper to the glass items, you're going to use some Mod Podge 3D dimensional material. Now, you can get this online or most hobby stores. For final cleanup, you're going to use some Goo Gone. This will wipe off any of the Mod Podge that's sticking to the front of the glass. Now, you're also going to need a variety of pliers and a pair of diagonal cutters, and you may also need to bring out a hammer, a pen, and a pair of scissors. Now, I also have some paper towels here for cleanup if I make any messes. All right, so let me show you how to do this. It's really simple. The first thing that you're going to do is you're going to take your glass piece and center it over the image that you want to capture. Once you have that exactly positioned where you want it, take your pen or a pencil and hold the glass or crystal piece down firmly so that you don't make any mistakes. And then what you want to do is trace around the outside of the glass piece. Now, once you have the image traced, you can take the glass off, and then what you want to do is cut to the inside of this line with your pair of scissors. Take your time, don't rush doing this because you want this to fit accurately on your piece of glass. Now, if you do find that you have any little pieces of paper that are a little problematic because they're poking out, you can always go back and trim. Okay. I've now got my disc cut out, and I'm checking to make sure that it fits my glass piece nicely. Now I don't feel any edges sticking out, and that's good. All right, so once you have the glass and or the paper piece cut to fit the glass, what you want to use is the three-dimensional Mod Podge to secure it to one side of the glass. Now, don't shake this material, because if you do, the bubbles are really hard to get rid of, and you don't want bubbles in between your image and your glass piece. What you want to do is start at the center of the glass and slowly work your way out to the edge, but don't go all the way to the edge. A little of this material goes a long way. So you can see I've got it centered in the middle of my glass piece. Now what I want to do is take my image, and I'm going to position it over my glass piece and push from the middle out to the edges. Now, if you get any of the Mod Podge slopping out, it's okay. You can take a paper towel and just wipe it up. It's not a problem. And like I said, you can clean it off later with the Goo Gone. Okay, so this is attached, and there's a little bit on the front, but I'll wipe that off, just cleaning up the mess, less to clean up later. And you can see that's going to make a nice image in the mid-center of that glass piece. It takes about 20 minutes for it to dry initially, so I'm going to set this aside and show you the next step. Now, to make the glass piece wearable, you have to attach some type of a bail. And I've got 3 little bails right here that were purchased at a local bead store. Now, these are kind of expensive. They can be as much as $2 a piece. So if you want to save some money, you might want to make your own. And I made some to secure these pieces to this chain. You can see right here, I just used a simple spiral. So let me show you how to make that spiral bail. What you're going to need is a little bit of wire, and here I'm using a 22 gauge copper wire. I'm going to cut off about 3 inches of wire, and I'm going to use a pair of rosary or round nose pliers, and I'm just going to turn a loop at the top of the wire. Now, once you get that simple loop made, just secure the smaller end of the wire around the longer end of the wire in order to make it stable. All right, so that's what you should end up with right there. Now, I'm going to trim off the smaller bit of wire that's up near the top. Now, if it's sticking out, you may want to use a pair of pliers to just push it down, because you don't want anything pokey, either poking somebody on their neck or on their ear. Okay, the next step is I'm going to take the same pair of pliers, these round nose pliers, and I'm going to pinch the wire at the very end at the tip of the pliers, and I'm just going to make a nice tight curve. Then what I'll do is I'll just keep working the plier up the wire as I keep turning the wire towards the center, trying to maintain an equal distance from the edge of the closest edge of the spiral to the wire that's turning. Now, once you've gotten a good bit of that spiral started, it's easy to continue by just pinching it with a plier across it and just pushing the wire towards it. And you'll be surprised how quickly you can do this, and it'll look great. And everybody likes this spiral. All right, so let me just make a few more turns here. Now, when you get to the top of the wire, what you want to do is make sure that your top piece is sticking out, just like that. Now, we want to attach this to a glass piece that's very smooth and flat. So in order to make sure that this is nice and flat, I'm just going to give it a couple of raps with a hammer on my bench block. Now, if you don't have a hammer like this or a bench block, any hammer will work and any hard surface will work. Okay, so now that's nice and flat. And you can see here on these little skeletons that I've already attached one to a skeleton a little bit earlier. So now I'm going to turn this one over and attach this to the back of this one. So make sure that you're working at the top, know which end is which. Now I'm going to use the E6000 glue for this. So what I want to do is take a toothpick and just squeeze a little bit of the glue out onto the toothpick. That way I can control it a little better. Then what I'll do is I'll just smear it onto the spiral that I just finished making. and then I'm going to attach it to my piece. Now, if this is a little bumpy or messy, don't worry about it, because in the next step, you're going to fix that. Okay, so that E6000 is going to take a few minutes to dry, so we'll let this one set and dry. Now, this one I did a little while earlier, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to smooth it out and to make sure that the paper is properly anchored to the piece. So you're going to take your three-dimensional Mod Podge, and you're just going to put some over the spiral and over the back of the entire piece. Now I'm doing this very, very lightly, and one of the last steps that I want to do is make sure that I have some near the edges. Then what I can do is I can take a toothpick and work the Mod Podge close to my little bail, and I can make sure that I've got material close to the edge of the paper where it meets the glass. And this will make sure that nobody can flick it up with their fingernail later on. It'll make the piece last a lot longer so you can enjoy it for years to come. Okay, so we'll let this rest. It takes about 20 minutes for that to dry, but you may want to leave it overnight to let it cure. Now, when you are working with this material, just be careful with getting your fingerprints all over it. If you do get fingerprints on it, you can use a little bit of the Goo Gone with a paper towel to wipe it off. So let me just show you. You just want to take a little bit of this material, just dampen your paper towel with it lightly, and then I'll show you on this piece that I did at the beginning of the video. All you have to do is just swipe it, and it comes right off. Takes a little bit of elbow grease, but you should be able to get off any mistakes that you made with the Mod Podge. All right, now once you've finished with these pieces, you've got them cleaned up, they've got attachments on them, you can then put them on a chain, or you could use a seasonally colored leather thong, or in the case of the earring over here, I just attached an ear wire with an appropriate bead, and in this case I have a little skull. I hope you have fun with this project. Check out our other videos and products on the onlinejewelryacademy.com. Thanks for watching.